What's going on, peeps? It's Wrath here, hanging out today, playing some Idle Heroes. I want to thank you guys so much for coming to hang out with me today. If you liked the video, don't forget, smash that thumbs up button to show your support. And if you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. Alright guys, we're here today on the official servers because it's event day, so we're always here on official servers on event day. It's what we do. It's like a thing. It's a ritual every week. But anyways, today we're going to talk about the events. But also, keep your eyes peeled, because I believe later today there's going to be a second video out, and it's going to be hopefully pretty good. Hopefully you'll like it. We'll see. We'll see about it. But anyways, start things out here. Value packages. As normal, during a Profit Orb event, which it is, you're going to have Profit Orbs as the rewards. There's a notable difference here. The bottom reward, or the bottom package here for $5, has 20 million gold in it, which for a developed player, like, you know, when you're higher in the game, that's not a big deal. But if you're just starting out, $5 for 20 million gold, like on a brand new server, that's a lot of gold. That's an absolute buttload of gold, and it'll definitely give you a nice little jump start. So that's just a little heads up. That might not be a terrible purchase if you're really new, because a lot of gold to get really quick. But everything else, obviously your standard packages, no special skins or anything, which is okay with me. And then we've got the Pumpkin Lord. Ooh, he's a Lord of Pumpkins, apparently. He looks kind of cool. Jolly Pumpkin Man. Anyways, when you kill him, kind of like they've had these back in the day, it's been a while. It has been a decent while since we've had one of these little fake boss kind of thingies to fight. But as you kill the boss, every time you kill one, you're going to be guaranteed 208 gems, the gold, but these are random. You get one random reward, a 25% chance it'll be a Profit Orb, a 40% chance it'll be 25-star Hero Shards, and a 35% chance that you're going to get 2 Universal Skin Shards. So, just for something pretty much free, that's what it's going to be. It's a free boss. Since you can't actually buy any of the pumpkin fighting materials, like bam, oops. Oh, cool. Okay, I'll use it. They do 5% of the health, as you can see. Bam, bam, bam. Just slap them in the face. It's always a critical. It's always a critical. It's never a regular hit. They're always criticals. But yeah, we'll just smash the poop out of the Pumpkin Man. But yeah, you can't buy extras that I've seen. Oh, that tells you all about it. But you're going to get some rewards for it. So pretty much anywhere you're playing, if you're a new player, an old player, it's still nice because you're going to get gems and gold for free. And free Profit Orbs, potentially. Free 5-star Hero Shards. Free Skin Shards. Either way, it's just kind of free stuff. So that's not bad. These are decent events for that. It's not a bad deal. Halloween limited packages. These aren't, in my opinion, super great. But the first one here, bam, 1,500 gems gives you an avatar, which does look, I don't know, a little strange. I don't know what that's supposed to be. But she's got some mean eyebrows. I'm assuming it's a she. I don't know. But you also get a 5-star hero and 5 super wishing coins. If you're really new on a server, that might not be a bad pickup for the 5-star hero. It is a decent amount of gems, but it's 5-star hero. Plus, when the Heroic Miracle's going on, BT Dev, spoiler alert, you'll get to that. Might not be a bad deal. Pick that up, maybe help you complete one of those. It's random, though, so you don't really know. The wishing coins, the super ones, they're not really that super unofficial. Of course, you can always get lucky, but the odds are never really in your favor for those. So, I mean, a maybe pickup, not something I would be like, yes, you must buy. This one here is a little bit different. It's got Cthulhu's new skin, which is, I don't know, like a skeleton man. A Halloween costume is what it looks like. I don't know what the cogs are going for there, but he's got them. He's absolutely got them. So new skin for him, elite 5-star hero fragments, which that's not bad. That can turn into a lot of things. However, it can also turn into things that kind of screw you, like an Ormus, or, you know, other poopage level heroes. So it could be really good. You could net like a Valkyrie or something great out of it. You could also net something that really blows out of it and kind of get mad. But it also gives you 5 Profit Orbs. So it's actually not a terrible deal. I mean, 5 orbs by themselves is going to be 2,500 gems. But you're also getting an elite 5-star hero. Potentially. Is it worth? Up to you. I'm not going to buy it. I'd rather buy a guaranteed hero or save for the chest events and get, you know, like 8 Profit Orbs for 4,000 gems and be able to pick the hero I get for 5,000 or 6,000. So I don't know. It's not one I'm going to go for, but it's there. It's there. If you want to go for it, you can absolutely go for it. The Prophet Summon event. Oh, as per usual, since they changed it, there is no gold as a reward, which does kind of stink. I wish they'd put it back in there. I don't know why they don't. I mean, even if you reduce the amount you get because it's completable multiple times, that would work. But removing it altogether really kind of sucks because it makes gold much harder to come by. I mean, the broken spaces still give some, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll deal with it. As normal, though, you get the 4-star light and dark shards. This time we're going to get a forest and an abyss 5-star hero in fragment form. A random one. Not elites, just regulars. Then you get your light and dark 5-star heroes up to 50 points. Your 60 and 80 point rewards are kind of depending on who you really are if you want them. Aiden and King Barton. Plus you get 15 glorious relics. And that's probably, in my opinion, the biggest reason to complete it multiple times. Because even if you don't say, I don't need King Barton. I don't really want King Barton. I also don't want Aiden. Neither of those heroes really appeal to me. Those appeal to me. 15 of those deals, that's great. That's on your way to buying whatever hero you want or picking up one of those great exclusive relics that you need. It's not bad. So even if you don't really like the heroes on offer, you still get glorious relics and they're still really nice. They're very handy to have. So I'm still probably going to complete this event at least once just to get those. I don't know if I can do it twice. I might be able to sneak it out, but I doubt it. But that leads us down to the final thing. The heroic miracle. The miracle of heroics. What you're going to get for the full complete is a Jahra. We'll talk about the heroes here in a second. That's just what we do. But as per normal, you got to get two dark, oops, that's too light, 2 dark, and then 3 of the other regular faction units. You're going to net a hot 24 heroic scrolls out of that and a good 10 prophet orbs, plus some orange gear, which is nice for fusing, or if you're early game, that's really handy for your team. So heroic miracle. This is great for me personally, because I've been waiting for this for ages. As you can see, in Wrath's Bag Place, I've got 1,300 5-star hero shards, and I'm going to open every stinking one of them, but not today. Ooh, I know, ruined. But that's the events. We're going to talk about the heroes you get on offer now. The only ones that are guaranteed, I mean, you can get random ones here. I can't talk about them all because that would be horrible. But we'll talk about the Aiden, King Barton, and Jahra. Just in case you guys don't know what they're all about or what kind of heroes they are, I'll let you know. So we're going to jump over here, and we're going to start with the Jahra and Aiden because they're both in the same area. Eeny, meeny, miny, Aiden is there. There he goes. Looks pretty decent. Wacha, 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 wacha. Scary. Scary fingers. That's what he does. Scary fingers. Scary fingers. It's awesome. But anyways, Aiden. He's a mage. He's kind of a cheese unit. If you guys don't know what that is, Aiden scales really well with dead allies. So most people, when they build an Aiden, build him to have dead allies all around him to boost his damage. Essentially what he does, he has an AoE attack, hits everybody, 100% chance to silence warriors, not a huge deal, it's not terrible, but it's not amazing either. He does gain 30% attack for 3 rounds. So he boosts his own attack, does a little bit of silence to warriors, but a moderate amount of damage to everybody. You say, well, on its face, that's not super great. You're right, it's not. However, Vulnerable 3, the first passive. Whenever an ally hero dies, he gains 20% crit and 36% of attack. You say, well, that could be pretty nice. It is, especially if you have resurrection units in your team like Michelle or Sleepless. As they die, they resurrect and die again. Therefore, that buff is going to stack. So essentially, if your entire team dies except for Aiden, he's guaranteed to have 100% crit and over 100% in attack boosts. It's a lot of attack, and it makes that AoE hit quite a bit harder, but that's not all. That is not all, peeps. This here is just, it's actually kind of nice. He gets a passive damage reduction, 24%. That's really handy, especially for a unit that you want to survive until the end and be the last guy alive. In Aiden's case, that's where he shines. It's not bad. Gives a little HP, a little bit of attack, but the reduced damage is the big perk there that Aiden really benefits from. But the last passive is where he gets kind of his cheese status. When he dies, he deals 400% of his attack against all enemies. So if you're defending in the arena with an Aiden, okay, and your entire team dies, Aiden's the last guy up, he now has a massive amount of attack, plus his active skills boosted his attack again. When he dies, likely he's going to kill the enemy team. He'll just, boop, nuke them all to death. And that's where you see the cheese come in. Aiden is going to be dead, but because the attacker died at the end, because your Aiden nuked when he died, you actually win the defense. So that's kind of where you see Aiden used. He used to have an armor break boost on his passive here, which was kind of nice for Marauder fighting. He lost that in the last buff change, and it really geared him more towards PvP than PvE. I'm not a huge fan of the cheese builds. It's just not my thing. Some people really enjoy it, and Aiden's not bad at it. He's actually a really solid early unit. He does fall off later game, especially if you run into people that run like Michelle's or Sleeplesses in their team, because if Aiden nukes them to death, they're going to resurrect and you'll still lose the defense. So he's not bad. He definitely has a role in PvP. I wouldn't say he's necessarily an in-game unit, but he can be handy and pretty nice. Other than that, I don't really see a lot of use in PvE from him. He used to have a little bit more, not so much now, but that's pretty much Aiden in a nutshell. Kind of a cheese unit. And then we got Jahra. Jahra. I have not used a Jahra on official servers. I built her way back in the day on private where she was still pretty much the same, but, you know, a little different. But the idea behind Jahra is she's kind of a dual role unit. She does okay in PvE and PvP, which is nice. It's pretty handy to have a unit that does that. She's also a mage like Aiden, a little bit slow for a PvP unit, but that's okay. She gets around it. She does a heavy damage drop. 235% of her attack is damage, which is nice. Also poisons them for 100% of her attack is damage each round for 2 rounds. So she has a little bit of damage over time, which does help her in boss fights. But the big thing is she also has a 20% chance to freeze targets and a 20% chance to petrify targets. Now, because people have told me in the past, that's not a 40% chance. Because it looks like that on its face. It actually isn't, because you're trying to crowd control the same people twice with the same low chance. It ends up being like 30-something%, I think. I don't know. But it's not bad. It's a chance to freeze and petrify units, which is actually kind of handy depending on who you're fighting, because some units, like Corpse Demon, can't be frozen. Some units, like, you know, Kamath, can't be petrified. So this kind of gets around that a little bit, and it is very handy in PvP. A lot of people use her. She's a really strong unit there. In PvE, her damage isn't quite as high as a lot of, you know, dedicated PvP unit or PvE units, but it's not bad. It's pretty respectable. Her first passive here, basic attack hits 2 enemies, does 120% of her attack as damage, with a 100% chance to steal 15% of the target's attack for 3 rounds. That's not bad. That's useful in a lot of places. Anytime you're debuffing enemies' attack, it's going to benefit your team, because the enemy's not hitting as hard, and since she's stealing the attack, she's now hitting a little harder. So it's good in boss fights, that's good in PvP. It's just a nice little passive to have. There you go, straight up. The next passive here is kind of just your normal run-of-the-mill passive. Attack, crit, and HP. It's nice to have that little passive crit on her. It does mean you can kind of build her for crit if you want to nuke more with her, which she does hit pretty hard in PvP. She can nuke. It's no joke. But a lot of people like to run energy artifacts, speed on her as well, because she kind of works in a lot of different ways. You can run attack on her to try to boost her PvE damage a little bit too. She's pretty versatile, and that's a good deal. Her last passive here is when she takes skill damage, so anyone casts an active skill on you, she has a 50% chance to heal for 280% of her attack as HP, and a 50% chance to increase her self-energy by 30. That's actually incredibly powerful. It works in the Aspen dungeon, because if she gets hit by skill damage, she can heal. If she heals, she's got self-sustain. It means she actually can stay alive. I don't know if an E3 Jahra can make it to hell. I wouldn't rule her out necessarily, but I'm not 100% sure if she can make it, having not built one myself. I don't know. But even that energy boost is really nice for PvP. If you get hit by 2 different skills and you only had 50% of energy, you're not going to have an active skill for the next turn, which is nice. Very nice. So all around, Jahra is a really, really, really good unit, especially on official servers. A lot of people run her because she's a dual role unit, and she works pretty well in both. So not a bad unit to push for. If you're going to go mage, if you want to do like a hybrid build for PvE and PvP, or just have a unit that kind of all around works everywhere. She's not bad. I would say if you want to go with mage tech, Jahra is not a bad unit to put in your team, especially if you're pairing her with stuff like Scary, that also dual roles very well in PvE and PvP. Just a good build all around. I don't think you'll be sorry building Jahra. That would be my advice to you guys. And then we've got ye old King Barton. King Barton, the Barton of Kings. That's what he does. Little dwarf man, bang, bang, hammer smack. Oh wait, we didn't smack things with Jahra. What'd she do? That was kind of lackluster. She throws the balls at people. Balls, balls. It's amazing. All right, now back to King Barton. That's not Barton. That's Scary. There we go. Hammer time. Hammer time. He's back. Little dwarf man with a hammer. Makes sense. This guy, we'll read about him. We'll read about him and talk about him. All right. So his active skill, 210% of his attack is damage against backline enemies. Also going to boost his own reduced damage by 35% and his attack by 40%. Not bad. Damage reduction is super handy, and you'll see why that comes even more into play later. But the attack boost by 40% is actually a pretty substantial boost. He doesn't have a huge amount of attack, but that's going to help. It's going to help a lot. His first passive here is really powerful, and this is why a lot of people like King Barton. His basic attack hits 4 random enemies, which is great. Does 125% of his attack as damage, so he actually does, you know, decent damage against 4 people. That's not bad. But the big thing is, it has a 25% chance to stun the targets for 2 rounds. This is really handy in a lot of areas. The Aspen dungeon, that's strong. That's crowd control against 4 enemies. That's good. In the Tower of Oblivion, that's crowd control. It's solid and it's on a basic attack, so it's good. In PvP, same story. You have a basic attack, there's a chance to stun. It's not bad. It's a pretty solid deal. But it gets even better when you look at his next passive. This is kind of just run-of-the-mill to start with. HP, attack, but he has a dedicated 35% control immunity, which is great. It means it's harder to stun, freeze, and petrify him, which is great for PvP. It's also nice in the tower and the Aspen dungeon as well. But he also deals an extra 100% of his attack as damage on stunned foes. That's amazing, because if his basic attack stuns them, okay, that's good news. His active skill is going to hit them pretty hard already. If he actually stunned anybody, he's also going to pair with that big damage boost against stunned enemies, and he's going to boost his attack again to stack that up for the next round. King Barton can be an absolute nasty beast in PvP, I'm not going to lie. The last passive makes it even worse, okay? The last passive, every time he's hit, he has a 100% chance to deal 150% of his attack against all enemies. And recently he was buffed to where this no longer gives energy to the enemy team. So when he counterattacks, they don't gain active skills from it, he just hits them. This is really strong, especially if you get that stun on them, extra damage versus stun units. That absolutely procs with his counterattack. He will hit harder against a stun unit with his counter. It's really, really tough. This guy is, I would say, he's a great PvP unit, especially since the buff. Really solid. Got the reduced damage in his the control immunity passive. He's got the reduced damage on his active skill. He's a nice one-slot tank who counterattacks a lot, works really well in the Tower of Oblivion. Once he gets to E3 and gains that resilience passive, he's also capable of hitting hell in the Aspen dungeon, as so I've heard. I've never taken him to hell, but I've seen people do it. So, King Barton all around, a really solid unit at E3. Not so much for boss damage. He does okay, especially if you're fighting 3 bosses. He can do a little bit more damage. But since he's naturally really tanky and has that counterattack, he does okay. He's nowhere near like an E3 Sigmund would be for PvE, but he is a decent dual role unit, working in a lot of PvE areas and PvP. Again, if you're more of a PvP-minded person, you like PvP more than PvE, this guy will not disappoint you. He's going to do great in PvP, but he's also going to carry over pretty decent into the Aspen dungeon and stuff like that as well. Really good build. I don't think you'll be sorry building King Barton if you like PvP a lot. So, those are the 3 units that are on offer for this event. Boom. There it is, event shop down. We'll be hitting it up again, I think, probably tomorrow or the next day to actually do the events. I've got 127 orbs, so I do a full complete with the orbs. And I've also got, like I said, tons of 5-star hero shards up here. I'm just going to pull them all out, save my bag stuff up, though. But yeah, hopefully that'll get us enough food that I can take my Valkyrie up to E3. Oh, it'll be an amazing day. We'll see. We'll see. But I think that's going to be it for today, guys. That is going to be it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you liked the video, please make sure to smash that thumbs up button and show your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe as well. And tell your friends about it, because that definitely helps me out a lot. And I will see you guys in the next one.